Hello, I'm Eli Juicy Jones. Welcome to Juicy Jones HQ, Orbital Vaping Headquarters. And today, we're going to look at the Wotofo Lush Plus. The Lush Plus is an update to the old Lush that we all loved from last year. Everyone had one. I had one. And now it's just got a new deck, new bottom airflow, new everything. In fact, I can't really exactly see what the difference between the old one and the new one is, or that it's all differences. But I've got the old one, I've got the new one. We're going to open it up. So hang out. Let's check it out. Today, we're going to look at the Wotofo Lush Plus. Juicy Jones HQ, Wotofo Lush Plus. Everyone had one. I had one. And now it's got unboxing. We're going to unbox it. I just got this thing in the mail from Heaven Gifts. I want to thank Heaven Gifts for sending this thing. This is cool. They expect me to review it, and that's what I'm doing. So we're unboxing it first here. And this is most of the work. Actually, all I do after that is just use it and then tell you what I think. So this is actually most of it. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in here in the live chat, especially James and Vaughn, who came in early and have been here lurking and teasing stuff in the chat. That's fun. If you want to tune in, we're live every Wednesday and Saturday always. And right now I went live today because I wanted to vape on this thing and I didn't want to wait. And so I just went live so I could show you guys. And it'll be in the can. You can watch it afterwards too. So this is actually most of it. So I want to thank all I got to do now is ask you guys how you are, go back down to the table, and then unbox this thing, show it to you, put some coils in it, wick it, come back up and vape it, and we'll talk about it and stuff and some of the differences, and I'll show you the old one too. I want to ask you all in the audience, how are y'all doing? Everybody, somebody is asking me if there's other audio playing, and maybe there is, I'm not sure. Oh, it sounds like I had some feedback coming through there, maybe, and if so, I am sorry. Or at least I had to mute my thing. I don't think it was coming through, but if it was, I apologize. And so all we gotta do is go down here and open this thing up and then build it and vape on it. So you guys in the audience, tell me what's up. Where are you at? What are you vaping on mainly? And how are you guys all doing? And I'll at least go over here and open the window so we can take a look. Vaughn and Eric and Cliff, everybody, you guys are great. I love all you guys. So the Lush Plus. Let's get down to desk view. But my head didn't disappear, I'm still here. I'm a floating head in the bottom. So I got some tools and some stuff to get some building done. So we'll put this aside for a second. And I'm going to use my Texas Tough Quick Wicks. I've got some Wotofo comp coils that we're going to put in here. And these are triple core 28 with 32 around them. So we've used these before and other stuff. They're pretty good and they'll be fine. So we'll use those. They're by Wotofo. And I don't remember where. I think I just bought those. And the new Lush, look how gold that is. They sent me the gold one, which is really cool. It comes in gold and black and silver, stainless steel. And it comes in a rainbow, like is really popular right now. So that's cool. Hey, Todd Wester, it's great to see you. Just tuned in there. So there it is. But first, let's open the box, and then we'll also look at the older one. The old Lush Plus box is kind of an upgrade from other boxes these days. Sometimes these boxes get kind of pedestrian. And by the way, I hope you all have a cup of coffee or tea or something. A soda, a glass of water, anything. Gotta hydrate. But the box here is kind of an upgrade from your typical vaping box. They've got some cool steampunky looking graphics around it, along with your typical scratch and sniff and then warnings. It says it's got a Lush, a t-shirt card, a cotton bag, a twisted coil bag, and screws and onion and O-rings, onion rings bag. That would be good, huh? Let's get it open. Look at that, golden. That's so cool they sent me the gold one. Thanks, Heaven Gifts. You guys are great. There's a link for these down in the description, by the way, if you're interested. And also some of the stuff people have asked me about lately, like my stands, my vape nut stands. And this is a vape nut build stand, which is really cool. And also my organizer is behind here, which is really great. Wotofo Cloud Artist. This is a chance to win a t-shirt. And they never say when they're going to pick winners or anything. I've never seen anyone ever say they won this. I'm not sure they even do that, actually. But, they might. They probably do. Maybe I just don't hear about it. I might just not. Hey, Andrew Law, it's nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. He says you just caught the show. That's great. I don't always, most of my shows are in the morning, and I'm trying to make a concerted effort to throw in an afternoon show here and there again. because I know that there's a lot of people who are alive in the afternoon, you know. I'm having trouble getting this open. Am I a dork or what? I'm going to put my finger all the way through there. Get out of there. Come on, fool. So that's a big piece of foam. That's cool. They include some comp wire, which I think these are just twisted, which I'm not impressed with. This is cotton. This is a couple of little coils. This is O-rings and grub screws. Yeah. And there is a little screwdriver, which I've already got one of those things. So, the O-rings and grub screws, you won't be surprised by. It's going to be, they're not grub screws, they're actually Phillips head. And the screwdriver is a little Phillips head screwdriver. I'll show you the coils that they include. I don't dig them too much, but we have put them into builds before, and they're pretty good. But we're going to use, like I said, their other, what they call their comp wire. But this triple core Clapton is a big upgrade here. Let me just get that out. I'll show you. Come on now, buddy. Come on now. There we go. Oh no, that's not true. They put in 3 Claptons. Yeah, those are actually Claptons. Good for you, Wotofo. Thanks. And they're 4 wraps, and they have room for lots of different wraps. So at least 1 more wrap each. So that's good. That's a little bit better. The aliens we're going to use are going to be quite a bit better, but they're all made by Wotofo. And these aren't bad, and they last, and they taste pretty darn good. So I'm going to put the cotton and the coils and the screwdriver and the O-rings back in here. And we're going to play with this RDA. And your Lost City has the Serpent Suck My mod coming tomorrow. I saw the Heaven Gifts notice for that today. It looks pretty good. Looks okay. I wasn't thrilled, but I was just going to say I'm actually vaping on another favorite of mine, my RDTA, my Serpent RDTA, which is one of my favorites. Hi, Michaela. Michaela just tuned in. If you just tuned in, I'm Juicy Jones. We've been here about 10 minutes. I just showed you the box for the Wotofo Lush Plus. Now we're just going to show you the actual device. And I'm going to put some coils on it and wick it. Yeah, it's going to be good. And then we're going to vape some, I think we're going to vape some AZ swag sauce, either butter cracker or Maui Wowie milk, which is kind of a strawberry coconut. This is Van Gogh Vapes Summertime Cactus Django, but I don't have the bottle in here. It's in my bag, which is bad. Sorry. On my Captain Mon. So here is the actual Lush Plus. Let me unscrew it off my base here. I've already put this thing through the ultrasonic cleaner. Sometimes I make that mistake and I forget to do that. And I'm going to up the focus even closer so it gets all super close, because why not? Yeah, that's better. So, and I'm going to bang into the camera too. That way it really is lame. So there it is, the Lush. Everything turned super green when I did that. Isn't that weird? There it is, the Wotofo Lush. I love this gold color, and I don't know what this drip tip is made of. It's palm color, or it's ultim colored, but it doesn't say. And in a second, we'll look on the website when we're vaping, and we'll go over these stats and specs so that we get the specifics. We'll do it together as we go. All right. And I like the unobtrusive type that's on there. It has bottom airflow now. And the bottom says Lush Plus, Wotofo.com. Yeah, look at that. And the star of this is the new deck that's angled. Do you see how it's angled in this fashion? With the bottom airflow and deep wells. The top cap has, and the water obviously is from my ultrasonic. If you get a wet RDA in the mail, make sure you return it immediately, or even from a retailer. It's got an 810 size drip tip right there, I see, and it looks to me like it's pretty domed, so this should have good flavor. But it's interesting that this really, I mean, just over here in the vape nut stand, I've got the old Lush right here. And let me just pull the top off this. It's a challenge because of the O-rings. And the only thing they really have in common, well, that's not true. I can see now what they sort of have in common. I'm going to take this one off and then put this aside, and then we're going to look at them together piece by piece. First, we'll start at the top. The old Lush didn't have a very good finish. Look at that. I put that in the ultrasonic today, and the rest of the paint started coming off. So pretty soon here, I'll probably just rub the paint off completely. But this is what you had to look forward to with the old Lush. But the flavor was pretty good. They have the same type of stepped top inside, but the new Lush doesn't have side airflow. It only has top airflow. And the old Lush was pretty good, but I had to keep it pretty close, halfway or less, because otherwise it would whistle, and that bothered me. And so the top there is pretty different. They've changed the top quite a bit. And the bottom is a little bit more similar than it looks. One of the things that isn't obvious about the Lush is that the middle is higher than the sides. So the holes for the contacts on the outsides are lower than the ones here. Sorry, but these coils are really old. I just pulled this thing out and, you know, cleaned it for you to look at. So really and it has a really deep well. So you can see they kept a really deep well. And they kept they exaggerated the offset holes by a lot, right? I mean, look at that, geez. But they switched it to bottom airflow for some reason. And, I mean, bottom airflow is good. It's a major, major, major change to the atomizer. And, you know, typically you'd call it the BF or another edition or something when you change something as significant as that. But, so I'm just looking in there. It's all shiny because it's wet. It's got a big peak insulator there for the contact. Side airflow. Those are pretty loose right now. So let's pop this thing on the Jiggy Bop. This is my vape nut vape stand. It's 1.2 pounds of steel. Like, this weighs 1.2 pounds, which I love that about that. And there is I'll change the focus so you guys can see again. Yeah. Let's try to get that kind of like groovy for you. Gonna take a sip of tea and have a vape, which I hope you do too. Delicious. I just made a cup of tea before we started here. And probably shouldn't drink caffeine so late, but hey man, it's good. Looks like Jack Dumont. Great to see it's 2 a.m. in the Netherlands. Well, bedankt. Bedankt, my friend. Thank you for watching the show. I appreciate it. And TD Wester, why does Wotofo give you 3 coils? You know what? It's plain and simple. You could screw one up. They give you 5 in the big packs. So this pack contains 5 coils, and I bought a box with 5 of these. It actually makes good sense. And if you retain them right, I mean, everyone screws up a few coils. It's just a thing. Someone saying they're torturing him. Oh, that's great. Someone got it. It looked like Jack got the PD200 or the PD270. Oh, I just dropped everything here. He got the PD270 based on that unboxing video, which is cool. I'm sorry, I have to redo my tripod now because I just dropped my light on. I got so excited I waved my... There we go. You guys got to see a little bit of the sausage and how we make the show here. I'll try to get a decent view of this from the side, which is kind of better, isn't it? Better from the side. Because we're going to go close in now. Now we're going to build. We don't need to be so wide. I'll try to get it close. Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in that Suck My Mod version of the Serpent too. Like I said, I love the Serpent RDTA. I love the Serpent as well. I've got a Serpent right here as well. Ding. You can see the top of it. We're so close in, it's tough. So now, oh, you know what I haven't done is get my clippers. That's the one thing I always forget. Here they are. Clippers. My rusty old clippers. Let me get this guy in here. Sorry if my head kind of disappears here. I'm just going to do a dry fit. Just look at it. Dry fit. Rub it in there. Screw it around. Jiggle it, wiggle it. Make sure these are all unscrewed. Stuff like that. That's what I'm going to do right now. Just going to sort of make sure everything fits before we go any further. And this one has big, gnarly Phillips head screws, which are going to be full of juice. It's going to be fun. But I dig the big screws. It's a 25 or 24 millimeter size, so it's large. And but it fits everything, and I think that's going to look amazing on my Captain mod. So, yeah, we're getting in there. It's good. Yeah, we're close. Yeah. You know, I want to tell you guys, you may wonder, why do I put the left lead going down into the lower hole and the right lead up into the taller hole? And the reason is because the wicks work better when you do that. Do it both ways. You'll see what I mean. And this isn't hard to secure in here. I mean, all I've got to do is look down on there and make sure that we're not going to touch the sides. You've got to make sure that your coils are going to be inside that thing fully. So I got to cram it in there. So just so you know, that's what we're doing here. We're playing that game. Because homie plays that. Going to make sure I'm focused for you. Yeah, there we go. And I just sort of like lightly tighten these the first time, because I always move them quite a bit. Yeah. Pretty good. In this case, I'm not concerned about it being perfectly centered. I'm more concerned with the lead lengths being right and staying inside, and it looks like we're pretty good. I actually like this one to be a little shorter. I'm going to cram them both in just a little bit more so it's closer to the post. There's nothing wrong with cramming them all the way up there. You just need to make sure you have a certain amount of length between the coil and the post. You can't be touching the post, but that's plenty of time. That's plenty of length right there. Oops, pull one out. Oopsie. Okay, so now I'm screwing that down pretty good. Dang, that goes tight. You can tighten the crap out of that, at least so far. Wow, that is. And one thing I like about these is that I think they're made of Kanthal, if I'm not mistaken. What are these made of, Wotofo? Are they Kanthal or Nichrome? But I can tell you they're one or the other. And the fact that they're made out of Kanthal and Nichrome makes them easy to manipulate. It's easy to misset them. Easy to get them in places. Easy to put them where you want. So I dig that. And they're pretty inexpensive. But these are not as good as custom coils, y'all. Don't be fooled. Never as good as a custom coil. It's just the plain truth of things. There we go. I'm just cutting these off. Oops, how did I miss that? How did you miss that, Juicy? You ain't a very good snippet, is you? Wow, do I have like a bad spot in my clippers right there? I've just found the exact bad spot. Don't sweat it. Just get another angle, baby. Till you hit that click. Ain't hit no click. It's gonna happen, y'all. There we go. Okay. So that guy's in. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm just looking at that. It looks like I'll be able to clip that pretty easily from the other side, but I won't be able to set it very easily. So I'm just going to do a little experiment here. I can probably just, oops, take it out. Because dang, these are easy. They have really long screws, although I let one of them fall to the table right there. Alright. Pull that out, put this screw back in, using dexterity, and then I'll set this little guy into the other holes, onto this side. So to their credit, so far what have we learned here? Like we've got, what? Good sized deck. It's easy to build on so far. I haven't had any significant problems. I'm cramming this in there pretty much as close as the other one. Yep, I'm going to screw it down pretty tight. I do like how these screws are big Phillips heads, and you can get them. That isn't stripped yet. I like large Phillips heads. And I'm just going to see if I can get a little distance on that. It's okay. And we'll get this thing trimmed. That's the easy one. And this one is in there a little further, so I'm having trouble finding the sweet spot with my clippers. Foolish mortal. I'll cut you. Oh, there we go. I made it. It was all good. Okay, good. So, we've got the other side. Pop it back in there. Screw it down. And then we'll check our ohm ratings and all that business and see what's going on. I'm sure it's going to be pretty. I'm guessing I don't know what we're going to be actually, about 0.3, 0.2, 0.3, something like that. Alright, so let's grab a captain, shall we? And I've got a captain, PD270, with dual 2700 batteries on here from iJoy. Love this thing so far. There's a couple of quirky things about it. It appears to drain one of the batteries faster than the other. And let's see. Let's just reset our camera, shall we? Shall we, my friends? All of you. There we go. So, I'm going to set this thing. We're at 0.11, so we didn't quite make 0.2. And I'm at 35 watts right now. Just giving it some pulses. Yeah. Pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. Just giving it a little bit of pulse. Just want to see if they're going to fire evenly and what I have to do. I might have to tweak them a little bit. It's just how it is. You notice how pretty relatively easy all these things are to set. So look, they're a little bit uneven there, it looks like. This is actually quite a bit easier if I turn the lights down. So we're at 35 watts. It's only about 2 volts, really. It's pretty low. Well, they're actually going pretty well together, aren't they? It's not bad. Just dissipate a little heat, move a few electrons there. See how it goes. Just keep my eyeballs on it. Yeah, it's not too bad. Just going to tighten these leads. This thing's transferring quite a bit of heat down to the mod. But they're both firing now. Look, see? There we go. So that was pretty easy. I'm going to give this a second to cool off, and then we're going to put some wick in it. For wicking, I'm going to use this Texas Tough Texas Tough Quick Wicks. Texas Tough, you can find them on eBay. These are great. And they only sell through eBay. Stuff really, really works great. Superior. So I better put this back on autofocus, right? Because it's getting kind of silly. Wah. Try that. And then we'll get some of this stuff out. Won't be too fancy. How many of y'all out there in the audience have a Lush Plus? How many of y'all who are watching are interested in this thing? For those of you just tuning in, I'm Juicy Jones. This is Juicy Jones HQ. And here at Orbital Vaping Headquarters, we're opening the Lush Plus. This is an RDA by Wotofo. And so far, so good. Just gonna Try that. Oopsie. I think I might have forgotten what my inside diameter was. Yeah, I think my inside diameter is actually not the same. But we'll see. Ooh, these are warm, so it's ironing it. I love that. Just gonna pull that through. Actually originally passed on this thing, but I got asked if I wanted one, and I asked the channel, and everybody said, yep, give it a shot, tell us what you think. We heard that the flavor is good. So they want to know, so that's good. Just going to pull that lump through there. There we go. Okay. Man, I'm not going to win any awards for most beautiful coils today, am I? That's looking like grabbage, but no big deal. I can use my cool crane scissors, which there's a link to these Italian crane scissors down in the bio, actually, if you're interested. Somebody asked me about those recently. Alright. Not bad. I did kind of mung one of these up, but I don't care that much. You guys are with me. Everybody does a mediocre job at some of these things sometimes. And to be quite honest... Oops. Well, there it is, fixed. There, trimmed out. Now all we gotta do is tuck some of this inside here. And vape. I wonder which juice did I decide on? Let's do Maui Wowie. Nope, let's not. Let's do Buttercracker, because I love Buttercracker. Buttercracker is good. It's kind of a custard. Cheesecake. Right. Tastes like butter, basically. It used to taste a little bit more like a cookie, I thought, but I think it kind of changed. So one thing I can tell by looking at this right now, it has a deep well, but I need to cut these slightly shorter. Because these only want to go down into those little wells at the bottom. And don't be fooled by that being shorter. I'm going to pull on this one a little bit just so it's a tiny bit longer to even them out. But I want them to just tickle the bottom of that. For some reason these are messier than my normal fare. Wonder what's up with my normally perfect dexterity. Oh boy. Okay, cool. Oh my god, that Buttercracker smells so good. So I'm just combing that backwards out of the coil. Stuffing it on down in there. Even that I feel like is too much cotton, but we'll see. Remember that you don't need that much cotton. Most of what it does is make it a little tidier sometimes. But in this case, this has a bottom airflow, so we don't want tons of length on this. Because it's not going to curl up down there, you know what I mean? It just needs to go to the bottom. Get down there. Get down on it. Sorry if I keep touching the camera, I know that's kind of strange. Really what I need to do is just get this done inside the well, which it has these cool little wells inside there. So I'm going to use Stuff Tack, and then I'm going to straighten it out by pulling it out from underneath a little bit. You want to make sure that the coils aren't touching the top of the airflow and that the wicking isn't going into the airflow either. Because those two things should be separated. We just want the cotton to go in front of and around and down into the little wells that they provided in here. Which you can do that with the flat side of your screwdriver here. There's a little bit of a clearance. You can just sort of push those down in there. It works pretty well. Yeah, it works fine. But this one's pretty short wicks in this case, which is fine. So I'm going to trim these even a little bit shorter than they are. And then start a stuffing. Alright, and then come around here, take a little off that, not much this time, because this one's closer to where it should have been. And then start getting that on in there. And I don't think, you know, if I have to re-wick this, I will, but I think we'll do okay. This wicks a little bit like an RDTA, because the liquid to some extent can roll around down on the bottom there. And as long as it touches the sides, the cotton will pick it up. So the main thing that we've got to do is make sure there's no cotton inside the air, and that this isn't touching the air top. I'm sorry, you guys weren't seeing that. Is that make sure that this isn't touching the air, and that this is close to the air but not touching, like I said, and that the cotton doesn't go into the air holes, because that's also a bummer. Alright, cool. So, more butter cracker, and I'm just going to put the butter cracker down the middle of the posts. Like, I'm trying to avoid any contact with the coils themselves. Although it's going into the coils and the sides. I just don't want it to come out the bottom of the airflow. Yeah, see, look, it's coming out the airflow, you see it? But I also drip the crap out of that, so we'll see how it goes. Wasn't too bad, actually, considering. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's go back up to the top and vape on this together. I'm going to wipe this up just a tiny bit. It's funny, when I put the lid on, it squirted out at me. That's bizarre. One thing that Wotofo does pretty well, generally speaking, is they know how to make something tidy. So, for most people, I would pass on bottom airflow, but Wotofo knows a little bit about this stuff, so I know that they've probably put some thought into this. The Sapor, the Lush, where are they? The Sapor, the Lush, you know, Serpent, obviously, the old Troll, all tidy RDAs and RTAs that didn't really create problems. Can't wait to taste this. Right now, I'm just trying to get the O-rings all lined up. They're all brand new, so they're resisting my force power. Oh, well, I can turn the desk thing on too if you're interested in seeing that. I was trying to get the top down on top of this thing because the O-rings are brand new and it didn't want to go down there. Okay, check it out. So what do we have? 35 watts? That's too low. You guys like it in gold? I do. I normally don't like gold anything, but this looks good. Definitely with black. God, my focus. Come on, really? Okay, 35. Since this is 0.13, I'm going to go up to, probably about 80 watts, just to get about 4 volts out of it. Let's see where we're at. No, I think I only want about 3.5 volts. Yeah, 3.5. Yum. It's good. Now, I guess to me, it's a little bit weird that I can't adjust the air. Excuse me. But having said that, this thing sounds absolutely fantastic. Tastes absolutely fantastic. Creates a lot of vape. Has a good taste. A little bit of spit back here in the beginning, but of course, because I just super doused it with e-liquid. I don't know if you can drip through the top of this. I don't see why not, as long as you're careful, because it goes right into the screws. I'll have to experiment more. Most bottom airflow are a little bit leaky for me, but so far, I'll give this a shot. I think it's strange that I can't adjust the airflow. I never really liked that, so It's not a preference for me. And it looks a little bit like a kettle drum or just a tin barrel. But you guys tell me what you think. Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the chat. All of you guys, if you love these videos, make sure that you like and click on the subscribe button too and that little bell to get notifications when we go live. It's Wednesdays and Saturdays. I'm Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and we're opening up the Lush Plus by Wotofo that Heaven Gift sent to me. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to bookend that. That's basically our episode right there. Now we can hang out and talk here live. You guys can tell me what you think. I think that concludes the basic formal part of the unboxing. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about airflow that you can't adjust? Works fine. Works good. Gets a little bit warm. O-rings are working way better now. After a couple of vapes. Let's do a drip tip check of some other drip tips. Wow, it's hard to get that TFE 12 one out. That's an 810. I don't know why we haven't come up with better names for these drip tips. 510 and 810. 510 makes no sense. So the 510 is pretty good. There it is. Murder. Looks like Eric says he likes the gold, doesn't like bottom airflow. In principle, I don't like it either. So far, it's good though. It's too much air for me. A lot of y'all would like this better than I do so far, anyway. But the flavor is pretty good. I'm not complaining. I'm a big Wotofo fan. As you guys know, I use the Serpent and the Conqueror Mini. Oh my god, I love the Conqueror Mini. I'd be using the Conqueror Mini right now if it weren't destroyed. I gotta order another piece of glass. Look at that look. Got a custom drip tip from iJoy in there. Hey, Anthony says, anyone have a Kylan? He loves the RTA. He wonders if he should try a dripper. Yeah, try a dripper. Pick up a Goon. Pick up a Troll too. I mean, a Lush Plus. This thing has a super easy deck to work on, honestly. And the flavor's pretty good. For a first one, I don't know about this because you can't adjust the airflow. And to me, if you go from tanks to RDAs, you probably ought to get one that you can adjust the airflow. Twisted Messes, Cthulhu, Shuriken, Apocalypse, the Goon. Goon's my favorite. Yeah, not bad. Just wiping up some of the residue here. Wow, I screwed that on there way too tight. Oh, it hurts tight. Okay, there we go. Way too tight. This thing has a nice feel to it. The gold plating feels good. I don't know if it's gold plated or if it's made of brass. Not sure. But it's pretty good. Yep. Just cleaning the bottom off before I put it back into my Captain. This thing looks great. It looks fantastic on my Captain. Looks like I'm at 3 volts. 3.2 volts, something like that. Can't really adjust the air, so I guess I'll try to go up. That's we're at 0.13, I'll go to 97. Ah, good. That's my last vape before it goes dry. So I'm going to try this. Okay, there we go. Now I expect it to leak because that's how I drip, is like that, like. But I like it. There's Julie LeBlanc. Hi. She says she's got both sizes of this. She likes it. And, I like it. I like it too. For me, it isn't the perfect thing. For me, it isn't. Since you can't restrict the airflow any lower than where it is, it's not exactly right for me. But the flavor's good, I can tell you that. And if you're vaping at high wattages, you know, you don't want to restrict the airflow down. So as I go up with this, you definitely wouldn't want to turn the airflow down for that. I'll put it up on 138. We'll see what happens. Yeah, huge, humongous clouds. Now, it does make kind of a noise. Does it make kind of a noise? A little bit. Still, I like it. Quite a bit. Yeah. So, there you go. There's my unboxing. I'm going to keep vaping on this thing for a while. I'm just going to keep on dripping, keep on vaping on it, put a couple more builds on it. That deck was easy, wasn't it? You guys chime in. What y'all think? I thought it was really easy to use the screws. And the holes are big and far apart. I didn't have any trouble putting a triple fused core 2832 in this thing. Alien. No trouble at all. You might have a little bit of trouble with big framed ones. But yeah, we got his complaints in the chat there, so that makes good sense. That'd be kind of loud, and you know, in person it's a little bit better than that. In the chat, we have the best description there: hiss. Julie LeBlanc described it as a hiss, and that's what it is. It isn't like a whistle, and it isn't a squeal or anything like that. It's a hiss. Jean-Yves Alain says it's a bit lushy. That's very humorous. Good one. Very good one. And hello to you. Bonsoir? It's evening, right? I think it's evening for you. It's a good evening. And everybody here is talking about the Serpent as from Suck My Mod with the little double. It's got a little double top thing. It's basically just like the Serpent RDTA, except for it's got two separate ones instead of it being a clamp. So it looks great to me. And the airflow looks good. You have 4 choices there instead of just, well, no, in the RDTA you have 4 choices as well. So it's pretty cool. So everybody's excited about the Serpent SMM. Me too. Jack Dumont says clones are better than cigarettes. That's true. I can't dispute that. I still think that for bang for your buck, you get much better out of Wotofo. And I want to say too that Wotofo makes inexpensive ones in the first place. And let me say something about goon clones, because this came up in chat here just now. Goon clones are bad. One of the things that makes the clone good is the materials they make it out of are all top notch, and I wouldn't accept anything less than what I got, and especially the LP. I bought an LP clone, and I have a goon LP, and the clone is nothing like the LP as far as the materials goes. It's way, way worse. And it doesn't look as good either, just quite simply. Here it is, my real goon LP. I can't vape on the clone because the clone doesn't have a full Ultim top, and it isn't really made of Ultim. It's just made of plastic or whatever. So, this is what I mean. You don't get what you get what you pay for, and the goon is actually made of good stuff. So, just that's an especially obvious one in my experience. I always tell people about the goon. But yeah, don't smoke. That's more important. Definitely, don't smoke. So, you guys, do you know that I got the Serpent RDTA? Of course, I love that thing. You can always look at my review of that thing. But I've also got this new one. Where did I put it? It was right here. It's my Vapefly Nicholas tank, and it's a little mouth to lung tank that works with its own. Here it is, with its own coils, and these are press fit coils. So you actually just press these things in, just like we did on the Captain tank. If you guys remember the Captain Sub-Hum tank. But when you take the top off of this thing, you guys can see how there is a little coil in there, and you just pull this out, bonk, and then stick it in. So that's cool. I think this is cool. And it's mouth to lung. This is the 1.6, 1.8 ohm coil. I can't remember which one, either 1.6 or 1.8. I'll tell you in a second when I get it back on the mod. And it has top fill, and it's great. Has good airflow. Has a lot of choices for airflow, down to from just nothing. I mean, you can really dial the airflow down. It's up to, pretty good for people who want a super sub-ohm alternative. Want to go back to ohm vaping, and they have a 0.6 coil, which is sub-ohm, which is really good. Nice. I should turn this back on. Welcome, Wotofo. 18 watts. You can vape on this all day at 18 watts, and that is the 1.8 ohm coil. So anyway, pretty cool. Hey, where'd my captain go? Oh, there's my dog. Here it is, right under my arm. Yeah, this thing's really plowing through the juice. Oh yeah. You go, guy, or gal, whatever you are, whichever one. So, on Wednesday, y'all, we're going to open up some of this OBS stuff. I've also got OBS Cheetah 2s and plenty to give away. So, I'm going to do that. And we're not going to give these away Wednesday. I will for the review. But I've got a black one, a stainless one, and a black one. One from Heaven Gifts and 2 from OBS. So, I'm going to open one of these, build on the Cheetah 2. We'll compare the Cheetah 2 and the Lush Plus. That's cool. They're both updates from last year's atomizers. So, that's awesome. Hey Josh, how are you doing, buddy? There's our friend. Also, Josh was on Vaping Dawn to Dusk last Saturday. We're on every Wednesday morning, every Saturday morning, and I'm trying to figure out what afternoon works. So it looks like about 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the afternoon works pretty well for you guys. So I'm going to try to pick a day and start doing that either today. This is Tuesday, I guess. Or no, today's Monday. Probably Monday. I just saw a comment in the chat that says, I need a Cheetah. Jack Dumont, do you have a Cheetah original one, or are you asking about the Cheetah 2? Because I had an original Cheetah, and I use it all the time. I love it. In fact, it's right here. It's on my Nosy Cricket 2. I took the drip tip off of it. And here's the Cheetah 2, which I was a very big fan of the Cheetah 2. They made it a 24 millimeter, but, you know. One of the things I liked about the original Cheetah was that it's really one of my favorite single 22 millimeter tiny atomizers with a dual coil. It's really good. And yeah, like I said, if you guys haven't seen it, check out Josh last weekend on Vaping Dawn to Dusk. He was great. We had a great time talking to Josh, getting a story. Yeah. Oh yeah, so everybody's excited about the Cheetah. So yeah, I'm when I heard that they had updated this, I called them, and there's a little mini story there. I sort of made friends with one of the people at OBS, and he was one of the sales guys, and a super nice guy, and we had a good relationship. And I sent him even like when I did the V-Tank review, you guys might remember, I told him like it's a little bit critical, but I like you guys and I love the engine, so I want to make sure that we stay, it's cool, right? And he was like, yeah, I really appreciate that. Well, They changed jobs up, and they hired someone to take all the people like me over, and I fell through the cracks, so I had to message him, and he totally sent a whole bunch of stuff. So he also sent Krios tanks, 2 of these, and the Krios tank is pretty cool. So I cannot wait to open these guys. So I'm very excited. I love OBS. I did some great stuff last year. All that engine stuff is really great. I have a ton of engine stuff here on my desk, and the Cheetah is really good. And I think OBS doesn't get enough attention, to be honest. I think they're one of the best inexpensive, affordable hardware makers. They don't really always nail the coils, and they don't really, and they might come out with a slightly confusing milieu of different varieties of stuff. Those might be some criticisms I'd have for them, but I like them. Yeah, it looks like Eric Smart says that he had an accident in his pants when he found out they updated the Cheetah. Yeah, I had the same reaction, dude. And that's when I really started calling him and going like, "Hey, man, hey, don't forget about me. I really love you guys. Like, I really love you guys." Oh, Kathleen Hunter says that her Goon top doesn't fit properly. Yeah, see, it's stuff like that. And my Goon top is made of shitty materials. And it's just bad. It's just my Goon clone is bad. I had heard at the time that Goon clones were good, and that was just BS. I mean, maybe a few people couldn't distinguish, but they weren't, in my opinion. Somebody's asking, Eekwapi is asking about the vape mod. I think you're asking about a mod. in tank for the budget. I mean, the thing is, it depends. I mean, how do you need to vape? Do you need to vape at 18 watts with a mouth to lung setup, or do you want to vape at like huge watts with this, with Alien? I mean, you can spend literally anything you want, but there's certainly good, reliable kits. There's a million different mods in that little area. Oh, Anthony Alm says he might like to try an MTL setup. He had an Aspire mod about a year ago, but wanted clouds because he didn't understand flavor or the cost of running through 30 mils of juice per day. That's exactly right. And I tell you, Anthony Alms, I really recommend, this is on pre-order right now. For now, I don't know if you can buy the coils in the future. They will be selling them. But for now, I really like this right here. And if you can spend 75 bucks, there is a version of the Nautilus Mini. It just costs double what the Nautilus Mini does, or the Nautilus 2, that uses the same coils. That's amazing, and I forgot the name of it. But if you message me on Instagram at JCJonesHQ, I will tell you what it is. But I agree with the mouth to lung tank, and what I want to do is I want to do a little roundup of current decent little mouth to lung tanks. I don't really have lots of them, so if you're out there and you're watching this in a replay, chime in the comments and tell me about your favorite mouth to lung tank, or if there's one I don't know about. I found out about one today. I got this one. I have the Nautilus 2, which is right here on my Elatar. Very distinguished. Ooh, it's chocolate. I'm keeping it. This is the chocolate custard from Mountain Oak Vapors. Well, Kathleen Hunter says that she loves her Kennedy because it has great taste. And I think that this Lush Plus is in a very, very similar place as the Kennedy. A little bit shorter dome and wider, although there's a Kennedy 24, obviously. But I think this is just about the same idea. I'm not a big fan of the bottom airflow because I can't adjust it, but I know a lot of you are. Like a lot of you. Like I know Josh, I know Owen, and many, many of you. Can't argue with the good flavor. I like it better than the Captain Tang. These Wotofo coils are great. They're not going to be as good as like your friends making good Alien coils, but these are probably my favorite machine-made coils that you can buy over-the-counter retail. Think Vape's great. Can't complain. I think I'm going to re-wick it so they're a little bit more even. I think I got one side kind of thicker than the rest so they don't burn evenly. It's not the coil, it's the cotton. So I'll just do that once we're through here. But so far, so good. So I'm going to see you guys Wednesday morning. It's almost time for us to go here. I'm going to see you Wednesday morning. We're going to open up some OBS stuff. It's going to be the Cheetah 2. I'm super excited. I love all you guys. I want to thank everybody who tuned in and came in, including Cosmic and Michaela and Ika Whoopi, Eric, Anthony, Kathleen, Owen, Josh. I mean, there's a huge list of people. A person. So all of you guys are so awesome. I'll see you Wednesday morning, and vape on. Be safe, and have a freaking great time. I hope you had a great Father's Day, too. Here we are with our Lush. We'll vape out together. Thank you.